Okay, third and final video. As we've just left off, the second happy time, the Germans have the upper hand in the Battle of the Atlantic until July about 42. That's when the United States finally kind of gets its act together, starts using convoys just like the British, implement some other things. But we all know that the last phase of the battle is coming. And it's March of 1943. The winter storms in the Atlantic are over. Germany finally has 240 U-boats to deploy, and the German High Command thinks this is the year they're going to cripple the Allied shipping. And the Allies need to get their shipping through to keep Stalin in the war, the invasion of North Africa, the buildup in England for what will become the D-Day invasions. All of this is happening. So it comes to head March of 43. First blow, Germany does really well. They sink 120 Allied ships that month, one of the highest totals ever. And it looks like maybe they've got this. But then, crucially, in April of 43, a real turning point. Convoy heads out, and it's going to head up against a wolf pack of 30, and then later it grows to a wolf pack of 42 U-boats. But thanks to the technology, improved air coverage, more destroyers on the Allies' part, the U-boats suffer very high losses with very few ships sunk relative to what's going on. And the turning point from here on out, more and more U-boats get sunk. May of 43 U-boats are sunk. Again, we're talking about 1 in 6. So it's a very high number. Typically, when you talk about the military, if losses exceed more than 10%, that unit is deemed not really operational. And so a loss of 20% of the U-boats in a single month is pretty high, pretty significant. And so from 43 on, spring of 43 on, the Allies' technology, they get more and more ships, better and better technology. Germany's going the other direction. They can produce less and less U-boats. And so the Allies win the Battle of the Atlantic and have all the supplies they need to invade North Africa and then eventually France and keep Stalin well supplied on his drive to Berlin from the east. To kind of talk about this, and again, it does not compare as far as loss of life to the Eastern Front, nothing does. But the Germans are going to sink over 2,600 merchant ships and kill over 30,000 merchant marine sailors. And the issue is these convoys can't stop. So when a ship sinks, even if the men get off the boat and they're waiting in the Atlantic waters to be rescued, they're not going to be rescued. The convoy is going to go on, and lots of men literally freeze to death or drown to death in the Atlantic, waiting to be rescued from the Allied side. On the German side, the U-boats are small. Hitler's evil. They're Nazis. The U-boat branch in the German military is the most Nazified branch. Period. Bar none. Almost everyone is not just a Nazi, but a diehard Nazi. And it shows what they're willing to go to. So you can see the losses down there. 64% thereabouts of all U-boat sailors are killed. Almost 2 out of 3. And understand that the other third, the chances of them being wounded and not being able to sail back again, that's over half of that number. So in our class today, look around and decide, which 15% of you is going to make it out of the war unharmed. And that's what your rate of loss was in the U-boats. And because they were such diehard Nazis and because they believed so fervently in the Third Reich, they were willing to take those losses. This really was a battle for all the marbles for both sides. It was critical to both sides. Hitler makes a strategic mistake. The U.S. comes in and wins. And as we've alluded to, the sonar, the radar, the United States is able to upgrade the British shipping with radar. So when the U-boats surface, they can spot them from miles away. The code breaking by Bletchley Park in the United Kingdom is absolutely critical to this. So it's not just the U.S. technology. The United Kingdom's code breaking is essential to winning the war in the Atlantic and really the entire war. And then the industrial supremacy. And this really is the United States. The United States can just build more ships than the Germans can sink. They can provide the aircraft that the British can't make. They can provide the aircraft carriers the British can't make. They can provide the military surface ships the British can't make. So they provide pretty much all the hardware necessary to win the Battle of the Atlantic. And that last little point, the Liberty ships were specially designed ships in the United States that would transport supplies back and forth across. And at one point, we were building 200 Liberty ships a month. So if the best the Germans could do is 140 sinkings, and we're building 200 of just this one class of merchant ship, they were never going to win. Strategically, they were never going to win once the United States got involved in the war. We just had too much production, too much power. So again, going over the key concepts, the Battle of the Atlantic was key to the overall victory in Europe because the United Kingdom and the USSR were dependent upon naval shipping to support their war efforts. Whoever controlled the Atlantic could control those two countries. And by winning the Battle of the Atlantic, we kept the British and the Soviet Union in the fight. We as the allies, United States, United Kingdom, USSR, others. And again, we did that through the use of superior technology, both us and the British, and the industrial might, especially the United States, overpowering the German industry. Last but not least, a little postscript here. You can probably turn this off if you want at this point. If you're really interested in the Battle of the Atlantic, a great new series is called Das Boot. It's season 1 on Hulu. I won't say the same thing for season 2, but season 1 on Hulu. It's a great military war drama if you're into that kind of thing. You've got romance and drama and U-boats and all kinds of great things like that. It's a great thing. You like your Matthew McConaughey because you're a UT guy, kind of guy. U571, probably about 20 years old now. Has some historical inaccuracies, but it's a fun little romp. And you like the silver screen, go check out Run Silent, Run Deep, probably one of the greatest submarine war movies ever made to look at. And I'll leave that last little point there for y'all to ponder and Google search on your own and learn about some of my relations. All right, thank you so much. This was Battle of the Atlantic.